Hi, it's Claudia Rosario. And on today's vlog, I'm going to talk about what it means to be a wife after God's own heart. I hope that you have had the opportunity to watch episode 5 on our Kingdom Talk podcast, where George and I discuss what a Christian marriage looks like. But today, I want to address the women, and I hope that's okay. But before I do that, I just want to say thank you for those of you that are watching. You know, you could be anywhere else watching any other channel. In fact, before I got on here to record this vlog, I decided to get on YouTube and just to do a little bit of research. And I have to tell you, I was completely shocked to find that there's so many podcasts out there, especially on marriages. But there was one thing that I noticed that makes our podcast a little bit different. In our episode 5, George and I talk about why we felt strongly about starting this podcast, and then specifically talking about Christian marriages. You know, across the board in all marriages, right now in our society, more than 50% are ending in divorce. In fact, George and I fall in those statistics. And so even though there's a lot of marriage podcasts out there, there's one thing that I noticed. I didn't see a podcast out there that the couple that are discussing marriage were divorced. A lot of these podcasts, which I think it's fabulous that they've been married 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years. I think that's great, and I think that we should be celebrating that. But the reality is that today, more than 50% of marriages end in divorce. So that means that some of you that are watching this, more than 50% of you were divorced. And maybe you're thinking to yourself, am I ever going to fall in love again? Am I going to find a godly spouse? Is God upset with me? Did I have biblical reasons to get divorced? And this is what I'm going to say to you. Leave the past in the past. If you haven't heard this lately, let me remind you. God sees you. You're not alone. You are blessed and you are loved. You did not find this specific episode in error. You're here because God brought you here. There's something that you need to hear today. So I'm going to go ahead and talk to all of you out there, whether you're single, you're currently married, or you've been through a divorce and you're preparing to be that godly wife. So let's just go over a couple of the roles that, to me, after I was divorced and I decided it was really time for me to strengthen my relationship with Jesus, and I just dove in and just started to read and understand what a godly wife looks like. So number one, we are a partner. And we did break that down a little bit in our episode. But look at it this way. We were created from the rib of the man, which is the side of the man. So we are equal. We are partners in this marriage. Number two, we were created to be the helper. The Holy Spirit is the helper and the wife is the helper. Number three, I didn't specifically express this on the episode, and I thought, oh, let me kind of break this down a little bit more on the vlog. So in 1 Corinthians 11:7, it talks about how man is the glory of God, but woman is the glory of man. So what does that mean? Well, I don't know if you've ever had, someone say to you, put your crown on. Well, that's how I interpret it. that I'm the glory of my husband. I am a reflection of my husband. And for me, I look at it as I need to make sure that I'm wearing my crown because I am the glory of my husband. And if anyone has been following my husband, George L. Rosario, you will see then in all of his posts, pretty much all of his posts, he will put me down as his kingdom queen. And I just love that. So for me, being his glory, I am his queen. Just think about that. That's amazing that God says, Claudia, put on your crown and shine and be the glory, be that queen that I have created you to be. Oh, that's my favorite. Okay, I could be here on forever talking about that. So the next one is the one that everyone doesn't like to talk about, and that is submission. You know, if you actually did your research and you looked throughout the entire Bible, you're going to see submission is everywhere across the board, literally everywhere. And guess what? Your husband has to submit to the Father first. There is an order in the kingdom. And you shouldn't take it like your husband is supposed to like trample on you, or what do they say, that you're supposed to be a doormat. That's not it at all. At the end of the day, your husband will be the one that reports to God. So there is an order, and you simply are second in the order. It doesn't make you any less because God created us equal. Where I am weak, my husband is strong. Where he is weak, I am strong. And because we are one, we are strong together. And lastly, which we didn't address this on the episode, but we are the ones that build a home. Not build as in construction, but we're the ones that make the home a sanctuary. We're the ones that create that atmosphere. So I think that's just amazing because we're the ones. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be the chef, because my husband loves to cook. And that was one of the first things he said to me was, would you be okay if I took over the kitchen? And let me tell you, I couldn't take off my apron fast enough, even though we both cook. But I do enjoy when he does the cooking. I have to be honest about that. But we do have certain roles within the home that we discussed before we got married. But overall, I think that you and I would both agree that we do like to be the ones that decorate and take care of the home. And there's nothing wrong with that. If your husband is the one that likes to take care of the home, maybe he likes to do the cleaning. Hey, I say go for it. But I think it's important to just have a conversation before you get married, what the roles are going to be in your marriage. And like I said, I think that what makes our podcast a little different is because we do come from the perspective of being divorced. But let me tell you, don't lose hope. God has a kingdom spouse waiting for you. If it happened to me in my 50s, it can happen to you. Please like, comment, and share if you like today's vlog. And again, don't forget to watch episode 5. And most importantly, don't forget to watch episode 6 that's coming up this week. Peace out.